Hey guys, and welcome back to my weekly reading vlog where every time I finish a book, I hop on the camera and let you know my thoughts and feelings about it, and then let you know what I'm going to be reading next. It's Saturday again. I haven't updated you through the week, honestly, because it's election week, and I feel like I aged a decade, and everything's really weird, and actually everything that I read was really weird. Yay, 2020! So, I've actually got quite a bit to update you on, so let's just jump right in. The very first thing that I finished was A Million Worlds with You by Claudia Gray. This is the third book in the Firebird trilogy, and it was good. I do actually already have a full-length review of the trilogy. I'll leave it linked down below if you're interested in it, but like it was good. It was solid, but it wasn't great. It wasn't as good as the previous two books. So the previous two books were a lot more twisty-turny, interesting plot. This one felt much more predictable, much more straightforward, and like even to the ending, it felt very. I kind of knew what was going to happen, and it ended in a fairly clean kind of way that I didn't wholly appreciate. Now, there were definitely some cool twists and turns and things that you love, but it felt like Claudia Gray didn't quite stick the landing on this book. It was like it wasn't a full like fall on your butt kind of thing, but it was like a little bit of a stumble. It just it's always a little sad when you have a trilogy and the weakest book is actually the third book. So that's where I'm at. A little disappointed, but overall I still liked the series, and it's somewhere in the like 4.25 to 4.5 range. And then after that, I read The Wild Orchid by Cameron Dokey, and this is a retelling of Mulan. I went into this thinking that it was like young adult. No, you guys, it's not young adult. It's like upper elementary school, maybe into middle grade. It's very young. Actually, and so here's the thing. Because of that, I am like judging it based off of like kids' book standards and not like adult standards. But I liked it. I actually did like it. I thought that the Mulan story was good. It was actually fairly simple. It was fairly straightforward, but I liked it. It didn't. I sometimes when you get like interesting stories, it's because it takes unnecessary twists, and we just didn't do that. We've really focused on feelings and relationships and characters. Now the characters, I will say, did feel a little bit weird because it's got that like older like YA from like the 2000s feel, where you've got like this 15-year-old character that feels like they're 25. That's what we got here. So like Mulan is like 14, or I think 14 in this book, and she just feels like she's a mature 20. And so that felt strange. But I actually still generally liked her as a character. I liked most of the characters. I really loved her relationship with the boy next door, Li Po. That's her best friend. And I really love that there was not even a hint of romance there. And it was just really lovely to see. Speaking of romance, though, there is one in this one, and it's freaking weird. Let's. So, I think the best illustration of this is like when Mulan gets to the encampment, she ends up being put with the archers, and she ends up in this like archery competition with one of the princes. And for reasons, they have to shoot the last arrow together. And she literally says that she felt like her heart and his heart were beating as one. And I sat there and I was just like, what is this? Like, it feels like an adult glossing over a subject that they really don't want to talk about with a kid. Like, that's what it felt like. And it didn't get better from there. And so that was weird. Also, again, age-wise, at the end, Mulan is like 14 or 15. And the person she's engaged to is like 24 or 25. Now that's not immediately obvious, and so if you are worried about giving it to a kid because of that, don't worry. It takes a pretty astute reader or somebody who's super interested in age, in like the characters' ages, to notice that. And I think that most kids, it'll be fine, or they won't know that that's weird. But like, as an adult reading this, I was just like, oh God, no, that's not my happy place. But yeah, like I I actually liked it. Like, it was a 4-star read for me. I'm gonna keep it. So there you go. I did read this to see if I noticed any racist nonsense because, like I said before, as far as I can tell, Cameron Dokey is white, and white people are not known for being sensitive to other people's cultures. And I didn't notice anything. Now, obviously, like, I am not the expert on anything having to do with Chinese culture, history, the Ballad of Mulan. So take it with a grain of salt, but there was nothing glaringly obvious. So that's at least nice. um, After that, I did pick up The Leveler by Julia Durango. This is a young adult science fiction story, and it follows our main character of Nixie, and she has a part-time job. She's a teen, but she has this part-time job where she goes into this super popular virtual reality world at the request of parents to pull their children out of the virtual reality world because the way that it's designed, that when you go into this virtual reality, your body is more or less unconscious. Nothing you do to the body matters. Like, it doesn't wake them up or anything. The company does have time limits set on how long you can be in this virtual reality, but it's pretty easy to get purchase hacked code so that you can like stay in longer. So her job is to pull them out. And then she gets hired to go after the son of the CEO of the company that is in charge of this virtual reality, that created it. I DNF'd this at page 60 because I just didn't care. So we went into the virtual reality world and it was interesting, but not interesting enough. Like, I feel like that was a missed opportunity. It could have been made so much more interesting. Didn't care about the characters pretty much at all. I thought Nixie was weird in a bad way. Like, it felt like the author was trying to make a kind of cool character, but doesn't have any idea what's cool nowadays. That was, again, not my happy place. And like, the story just really wasn't that intriguing to me. I ended up skimming the last couple of pages, found out that there's like, the ending is interesting. There's like some twisty turny stuff that goes on, and I didn't even care. So I decided that since I didn't care, I should probably just DNF it now. So that's what I'm gonna do. Which brings us to our update of Queen of the Concord by Kacen Callender. I have been reading this very slowly, and I am now on page 156, and I am also going to DNF this book because I just don't care. I don't like this book. Like, this book was really, really wanting to make a point. And I think that it does a pretty good job of that. And for a lot of people, they need this book. But I don't. And so I don't mind reading a book that's meant for other people. That's fine. But that means that I'm going to be reliant upon other parts of the story. And in this case, it was the plot and the characters. And neither of it was really doing it for me. The plot was fine. It was intriguing, but I kind of lost interest in it. And honestly, that's at least partially because I don't like Sigourney. Now, I thought I wasn't going to like Sigourney because, like, you know, she's hellbent on revenge and all that kind of stuff. And actually, I'm really okay with the stuck on revenge. It's really, she just can't quite fully commit to it. And she's kind of naive. So she really is like, doesn't quite understand why she's a slave owner, but she doesn't understand why all the slaves hate her, even though she's not exactly a kind slave owner. And even if, like, you fundamentally can't be kind as a slave owner. Like, you can be not as terrible as other people, but you're not ever going to be kind. She still has slaves. She still kills them. Still does all this stuff. And she's like, but I'm doing it for them. Don't they understand? No, because you can't tell them your plan. Otherwise, like, you're just going to get ousted. And furthermore, even if you did tell them your plan, it doesn't matter because you're still fundamentally hurting these people on your way up to the top. And she just can't accept that that's how it has to be, that she's just going to be hated by everybody. So she's just like, I just want to be loved. But she's not quite as terrible. Like, she's not, her thoughts aren't spiraling around that way, but it comes out, and I was just done, honestly. Like, I did not love it. I would still say that it's good, just wholly not for me. So if you're interested, you should still give it a try. I would suggest still giving it a try, but it's just not my thing. So next I am going to pick up How to Betray a Dragon's Hero by Cressida Cowell, the 11th book in the How to Train Your Dragon series. Now, this series follows Hiccup Haddock III on his journey to becoming the greatest Viking hero of all time. And in this particular book, he's on a journey. He has to make it to his destination, and there's obstacles along the way. And that's about all I can say. I haven't started this yet. This is like the penultimate book, and I'm really hoping that it's exciting and adventurous. We're going to be hopeful, you guys. We'll see how it goes. But at the same time, I'm also going to be picking up Fantasty Magazine's special issue, People of Color Destroy Fantasy, and it's edited by Daniel Jose Older. And this is essentially just everybody associated with this particular issue, from the writers to the editors to the artists to the authors that are spotlighted, are all people of color, and I'm very excited to get into it. N.K. Jemisin has a short story in this called Red Dirt Witch, which I'm really excited to get into, not because I know anything about this story, but because I'm excited to finally read some of N.K. Jemisin's work. So I will read a little of this at the same time as I'm reading How to Train Your Dragon, but this one honestly has to come first so that I can pass it off to my spouse so he has enough time to read it before the end of the month too. But that is it, you guys. My very long update. I will try hard next week to actually do different clips where I update you as soon as I finish the books. But we'll see how that goes. That's all I have, though. So until next time, have happy reading, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.